Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. You know who it is. And it's time for our weekly track roundup on this channel where I go over what I felt were the best and worst tracks of the week. Before we get into that, of course, we have to shout out our sponsor over at SeatGeek on this video. The good people at SeatGeek, they have created an app that aggregates tickets from live events from all over the web to make buying simple. They put a 1 to 100 score on each ticket to let you know if you're getting a good deal. Red means a bad deal, green means a good deal. The in-app view, when you purchase a ticket, lets you know where your seat is going to be at, where you're going to be sitting, and enter code DROP, that's a promo code DROP, at checkout to get $20 off your first order when you buy tickets on SeatGeek. Link down there in the description. Shout out, and again, thank you to the good people over at SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. All right, let's get into also one more shout out that I have to give. Let's see, nope. There it is. Ba-bam. Here we go, weekly track roundup, you know what it is. Also down there in the description is our Amazon Associates link. If you live in the U.S. and you use that, you click on that link, anything you buy on Amazon afterwards, we get kickback from it. Does not add to your overall price. Supports the segment, supports the channel. And also we have a similar thing going on with good people over at Turntable Lab. If you want to hop on there and buy some audio equipment, buy some turntable stuff, buy some speakers for, the budding record collector, also some very colorful pressings of albums that I have covered, that I have reviewed on the show. You can do that. We get kickback from that as well, quite a bit of kickback, and supports good business. And also, we have some t-shirts down there in the description that are available for a limited time only. I'm actually going to be on vacation next week, and I do ship these things myself. So if you do buy a shirt this week, give it a little bit of time, give it a little bit of space, because I'm going to have to come back and supply and do all these shirt orders once I'm back in my home state. And, we do international shipping on that, unisex sizes. It's the name thinny shirt Tano, Senthiny Pie Tano, hair thinning line Tano, flat thinny earth Tano, trap thinny god Tano, all the name remixes that you guys know and love from the introduction of my many reviews and videos. And so I think that's all I need to say. We got shirts, Turntable Lab, Amazon, and shout out to SeatGeek. Use that app, support them, they support us. And that's all I think I got to say before we get into, again, the weekly track roundup. Let's get into the worst tracks of the week. Awesome. That was smooth. That was a nice, smooth transition. I also should mention that while I'm gone this week, programming is going to be changing up a little bit. We do have that Doom Worst to Best, MF Doom Worst to Best video coming out. We have 2 guest videos. One from I Hate Everything and one from, yes, I Hate Everything, and one from Dead in Hip Hop. They're not reviews. They're going to be think pieces, so watch them and subscribe to their channels, I Hate Everything and Dead in Hip Hop. Look them up, sub to those channels. They make great content. And I'm going to have a few reviews, hopefully, at the tail end of the week for you guys as well. So a slight programming change-up, but you're going to enjoy what's coming out this week. All right, let's get into the worst tracks. Let's get into the worst tracks. Without a doubt, without questioning, worst tracks of the week. We got to start off with Lana Del Rey with the song Summer Bummer featuring A$AP Rocky and Playboi Carti. This song is terrible. God. Like the spacey, flavorless trap beat. I can't tell if it's Rocky or Carti sort of in the background providing like this really bad this really bad bit of background vocal that is not in tune with the rest of the instrumental and the rest of the track. It just sounds really bad. Lana's hook on the track is actually not that bad. If this were like an A$AP Rocky song and Lana did the hook, I would come in here and say, hey, at least the hook didn't suck. Because Lana's vocals there and the melody there, it's actually pretty solid. But I don't see what Lana is really getting out of coming out with this more like spacey, cloudy, trap-inspired music. Because really, I feel like she's kind of already built an aesthetic. She's built a style that has a lot more musical potential and class than what she's doing here on this track over here. It just kind of seems like she's painting herself into a bit of a corner over here because this year, rap and trap music specifically is very much the zeitgeist. Rocky's performance is okay, but, really the song comes together in a really ugly, awful, subpar way. And, again, one of the worst tracks of the week. Moving on from there, got to unfortunately give it to Kesha for the song Woman. Not only are Kesha's vocals on this thing annoying, like her singing is really subpar on this track and really kind of like yelpy and annoying, but I feel like the whole topic and theme of the song, I feel like womanhood and sexuality and gender are amazing things to explore in song, and I feel like there's a lot of potential there. I feel like there's a lot of gold to potentially be dug out of that. But what Kesha does on this track is simply pandering, and that's it. She doesn't explore anything. She doesn't reveal anything. She doesn't enlighten anybody to anything. It's just straight, gross, pappy pandering, and that's all. It's just straight pandering, and there's really no other explanation for what she's doing on this song. It's just pandering that's supposed to be coming off as empowering, but it's not. It's just pandering, and we're going to leave it at that. Moving on from there, we have this new track from Chance the Rapper featuring Young Thug, which is hot garbaggio, bad recording, bad vocal performances, and hilariously, this track is supposed to be saving the SoundCloud platform. Young Thug can't even move like more than 40,000 units of a record he comes out with. How is a feature on a Chance the Rapper song going to save the entire SoundCloud platform? You know, correct me if I'm wrong there about Young Thug's numbers there, but as far as I've seen, like, you know, a lot of projects he comes out with, they don't do a lot of numbers in terms of sales or in raw streaming as well. So, you know, how is this song going to save SoundCloud? How's this going to save SoundCloud? The problem with SoundCloud is they don't know how to make money. You could put a song on there with 20 million streams on it. If they don't make any money off of it, what's the point? It's not saving the platform. So, you know, it's a terrible song that is stemmed in a terrible idea. Moving on from there, Arcade Fire, Electric Blue. Easily the worst single they've dropped so far. Like, you know, I want to say more positive things about this song than I want to, than I want to, because I have to be honest with myself. I think it's subpar. I think it's mediocre. I want to say nice things because, you know, Regine is singing on the song, and it seems like, you know, the track was well-intentioned, but this is one of the worst dance beats on the entire record. Her vocal performance is mediocre. The entire time I hear her singing, she's just singing in this really nasally, super high falsetto that is a total mess. I could barely make out what she's saying half the time. It's just with like a little bit of reverb thrown on it. The entire time I'm sitting there listening to the song thinking, what are you saying? Just enunciate, for the love of Christ. Yes, it's easily the worst single Arcade Fire has dropped from this forthcoming album. Not expecting good things, because every single so far I thought has been bad, corny, mediocre. I don't know why they're forcing themselves into this dance music direction. It's not that good of a look. All right, let's move on to the tracks that I thought I should shout out, but I was just maybe a little underwhelmed by, or I thought, you know, we're definitely worth highlighting. Kind of meh, but maybe you guys will dig them more than me. Selena Gomez, Fetish, featuring Gucci Mane. Selena Gomez effectively on this new song over here, trying to transition, which she had another single out recently as well, but she's attempting to transition into making more adult pop music. She's not just simply, you know, writing teen or tween pop music anymore. She's trying to write stuff that's a little sexier, a little more risque, a little more suggestive. And I don't think this attempt at doing that is all that bad. It's a somewhat boring, spacey, trap, percussion-backed ballad. The Gucci Mane feature is okay. The hook is okay. It might do well on, you know, like an iTunes playlist. It might do well in, you know, the club or something like that. But, you know, it's not that special. Her vocals are not that unique to me. The instrumental is not that unique to me. You could catch a Gucci verse almost anywhere. The song topic is okay. You know, I like the idea of someone's love being someone's fetish. You know, seems like a kind of decent song theme. But I wouldn't say it's that special. You know, it's listenable. It's listenable. But I'm yet to hear anything that's blowing me away here. 9 Inch Nails, new track over here. Less Than, forthcoming EP. Trent Reznor is going to be dropping very soon. Unfortunately, this is not as exciting or as gritty as what Trent was releasing on that EP that you know, I reviewed not too long ago, earlier this year. This is a more synthetic, more flat, more clean, less tortured sort of Nine Inch Nails, which we've been hearing for years now. It's okay. Trent Reznor's vocals are fine, but really for me it comes down to the songwriting on this thing, which to me just kind of sounds like some wishy-washy middle-of-the-road 90s alternative rock that has a very radio-friendly hook on it. There's not really anything all that special about the songwriting in my opinion. I do like some of the synth patches on this thing. Some of the synth tones are pretty cool. There's definitely a groove to what Trent is doing on this track as well, but it's not really him at his best when it comes to songwriting. But, surely check it out. Don't miss it if you're a Nine Inch Nails fan. Moving on from there, METZ have a new song out titled Cellophane. METZ, the noise rock band that's on Sub Pop Records right now. Previously, I've been kind of underwhelmed by their stuff, felt that their riff writing was kind of subpar, kind of basic, kind of primitive, especially I also felt the same way about their vocals too. But this new song over here, while it is still very much steeped in a sort of 90s post-hardcore noise rock nostalgia, I do think the songwriting has matured by leaps and bounds. The vocals are way more melodic and harmonious. The riffs and the guitars are more dynamic. This has me kind of excited to see what METZ are going to do on this forthcoming album, because it seems like they're really trying to grow and do something different. They're not simply trying to write the same ugh, like, caveman riffs and not in a good way. That I've heard on their previous material. So give this a shot. Give this a check out. Seems like the band, again, are trying to grow, trying to mature here. And, if you're in noise rock, you're probably going to get something out of this. Lana Del Rey, this new song over here, also featuring A$AP Rocky, Groupie Love. This is like leaps and bounds better than that Summer Bummer cut with Playboi Carti and A$AP Rocky on it. A$AP Rocky's performance is fine. Lana's performance is great. I like the tune of the song a lot. But the thing is, a lot like that track where she was singing about Coachella, not every single song you do needs a freaking trap beat in the background. In fact, I would say that sound is more of a hindrance to Lana's style than it is helping her. Her breathy vocals, the nostalgic instrumentation, the very cloudy, windy, breezy, intoxicating, and gauzy sort of way that her vocals kind of layer on top of each other and sort of melt into the instrumentation. And then you have these very sharp, kind of punctuated, very almost out of place, sharp 808s sort of just like bustling away underneath. It just doesn't sound like a match. It just sounds really, again, kind of out of place. And that's the one thing working against the song. I think everything else about the track is great. It just really could have been better. I've heard better percussion on Lana's tracks in the past. I just don't get what is driving her in this direction, with these incredibly mediocre very skeletal trap beats. They don't really do her much musical favors, much in the way of a musical favor on this track, really, nor any other artist, I think, because again, the production seems kind of, as far as the beats, pretty plain, At least if you're going to go in this direction, bring a little bit more detail to the table, please, because this is just like, the definition of underwriting an instrumental. Nomadic, Higher Brothers, featuring Joji on the hook. Joji, George, you know him as Filthy Frank on YouTube, on the hook on this thing. With the Nomadic, it's not a bad hook. It's not a bad hook. And I don't know, just got to give a shout out to 88 Rising and Higher Brothers on this one, because it's a kind of fun video. It's a kind of fun song. Some of the lyrics that I was reading in the subtitles on this thing are pretty fun as well. Obviously, this is some hip hop music from the Far East. Open up your freaking, I want to say, I guess your tastes here. Give this a shot, because I think there are a lot of cool things about this song. It's a kind of fun single. And let's move on to the best tracks. Remember, these songs and all the songs I've been talking about, they're all linked down there in the description, as usual. You guys know the business by now. All right, let's get into the tracks that I thought were the best this week. With Zola Jesus kicking it off with the new song Soak. Incredibly slow, powerful, dense, heavy ballad from Zola Jesus on this one. I am so excited for this new Zola Jesus record. I've never been a huge Zola Jesus fan, but the instrumentation she's been bringing on these new tracks over here is just so thick. It's so thick. It is thick. And it's heavy, it's passionate, it's powerful. And, while I have liked her vocals in the past, I just felt like she could have used a little bit more sonic support on her past stuff. And it seems like with, this new material, she's definitely getting that, because these songs are heavy, they're hard hitting, they're dense, and I'm loving it. And even though this song moves very slow, because of that sonic density, again, it has power, it has girth, it's mountainous, and make sure that you don't miss it. Vic Mensa with Pharrell Williams and Saul Williams on this new song, Wings. To be completely honest, I haven't listened to this song a lot. I haven't listened to it as many times as I have other songs here, simply because what Vic does on this track, at least from my initial reaction here, lyrically and vocally, it's really powerful. It's super intense. At the time that I was listening, it was kind of late, and I was like, okay, this is blowing me away a little bit. This is like a little bit too emotionally potent right now. I wasn't fully in the mood to take it all in what Vic is saying on this track. At first, I was like, okay, it sounds like he's going a little overboard. But then as the song drew on and he grew more and more intense, and the subject matter of what he was rapping about here just got more and more grim, it became like a serious, like a bit of an eye-widening moment for me as I was listening to this, which I have not had very many of those when listening to Vic Mensa's music. So it seems like, on this new cut over here, and hopefully this forthcoming record, he's really kind of cutting the bullshit. He's getting down to brass tacks, and, he's hitting upon some serious topics, because it seemed like he's always kind of referenced that direction. The potential for him to do that has always been there, but he's never sort of made that full step. And it seems like on this new track over here, he's just doing a fucking cannonball into that, and in a big way too. So don't miss this song. Seems like a very powerful song for my initial impressions here, and definitely wanted to endorse it because it seems like a special moment for Vic. Tyler, the Creator, Boredom, new track over here promoting his forthcoming record, Scum Fuck Flower Boy. And this is a slow jam over here. It's not as hard hitting as Who Dat Boy, Who Dat Boy. This is a slow jam, but this is one of the most harmonious and beautiful slow jams I have heard come from Tyler. In the past, I've felt his slower tracks have always been kind of awkward. The synths come together in just like a really hideous way. If they're singing vocals, maybe they're kind of off as well. But this is just like one of the more refined, more ballad-inspired songs that I've ever heard him put together. And his rap verses, or his rap verse on the song is not really all that bad either. Liking the lyrics, liking the smoother, more melodic production here, liking the mood of the track. And again, this is another moment where my mouth is watering. I've not ever gone into a Tyler, the Creator album having liked so many tracks and being this excited. So I don't know what else to say other than, again, I'm looking forward to it. This track sounds great to my ears. Sounds like Tyler is, not only with Who Dat Boy coming through with solid bangers, on the flip side of there with Mr. Lonely and, this track over here, Boredom, you're getting a dynamic display of Tyler's emotional range here just with this handful of tracks. And I'm really excited to see that play out across an entire record. So, really liking this track as well. Check it out. If you haven't already, you most likely have. But, all right, the Cool Kids, new song, Check Out. Cool Kids really came through on this new single. I've been kind of worried and kind of questioning whether or not the Cool Kids are really going to deliver anything of note in this decade. It's taken them a while. Sort of seemed like... there was a little bit of separation there for a while, and that, the duo's demise was maybe around the corner. But with this new minimal track with some excellent and creative and colorful sampling throughout is really awesome, and what, to me, made the Cool Kids exciting in the first place. So, if Cool Kids, if you're listening, please keep it up. This sort of creative production, these fun, smooth, head-bobbing flows, the clever lyricism, the playful sort of attitude, but also, that like hint, that dollop of griminess and darkness, that's so awesome. That is amazing. That is sort of a vibe and a sound that you guys pull off better than anybody else. And, I love hearing it in full display on this new track over here. I want to hear more of it moving forward. And, hopefully, it turns on other people as well, because I've always thought the Cool Kids... they never really got the career that they could have had. They never really got the career that they fully deserved. And, hopefully with material like this, they finally get there. Ooh, Protomartyr. New Protomartyr, post-punk outfit Protomartyr, who I've been pretty, I guess the word I want to say is receptive toward, and have praised nicely in the past, especially on their last record, have a new song out, which is one of their most powerful and depressing songs to date, in my opinion. This new track called The Private Understanding. It's very slow, it's very patient, and it has an amazing ending with a powerfully depressing refrain that sort of finishes the track out, a mantra, if you will. All the post-punk fans, all of those out there who like their rock music really moody and really, sort of in the darkness, shadowy, give this thing a shot. Powerful, deep lead vocals, some sort of eerie guitars on this thing too, and the music video is kind of strange as well, so give it a shot. Don't miss it. The OCs have a new track out from their forthcoming project. The title of this song over here is Animated Violence, and this is some grade A prime heavy psych on this track. Like, the riffs are huge. There are some amazing guitar leads that are sort of popping in between those riff passages that are hard hitting and powerful. Really excited about the dynamics of this new track and that the OCs have been displaying on their most recent material. And, really excited to sort of hear the viscera and the power and the energy that they're bringing on, tracks from this forthcoming record as well. Really good song. Excited. OCs are sounding, really great here, and in my opinion, putting out some of the best material of their entire career. Although I may have said the OCs recently, or just now rather. I think I meant OCs because I think they just dropped the. So I think the band is now just simply known as OCs. So I apologize for that. Moving on from there, we have a new song from Mount Kimbie featuring freaking King Krule, which I've never been a huge Mount Kimbie guy, but every once in a while they do drop a track that's really good with a great vocal feature from a guest, and this is certainly one of them. Throttling and visceral groove on this one. King Krule's vocal performance is fantastic. Don't miss it. I want to give a shout out to the new Ariel Pink single, which I don't want to say too much about because I am excited for the new Ariel Pink album. But Ariel Pink, in my opinion, continues to be a pop music genius on this new song over here. And I want to give a shout out to Andrew Savage of Teenage Cool Kids and Parquet Courts fame, who has a new single out and a new solo record dropping very soon. This new song over here is titled Andrew Savage, Winter in the South. And there was something about this song, about his vocal melody and his sort of vocal flow, if you will, on the song that kind of reminded me a little bit of They Might Be Giants. Maybe they're an influence. I wouldn't be that surprised. But there, some of the lyrics on this thing are kind of quirky, but there's really a folky kind of edge to his songwriting here as well. It seems like there's a lot of musical influences kind of at a crossroads on this track, and maybe on this forthcoming record too, that I haven't quite heard mixed in the way that he is mixing them on this song, which has me kind of excited. So make sure that this song doesn't slip by you, and that is going to be that. Those were the best and worst tracks of the week in our weekly track roundup. Remember, down there, hit up that shirt link. It may take a little while because I'm going to be away for a bit, but once I get back, I'm going to be sending out more shirts ASAP. So we have shirts, we got that turntable link, the Amazon link, and the good people over at SeatGeek supporting this segment. And hit up those guys, hit up those links, look up those tracks down there in the description, listen to those songs, the ones that interest you, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for supporting this segment, and look forward to some good videos and programming this week while I'm away with those guest videos, that Doom List video, a few reviews, and I love you. Love you, love you, love you. Forever.